Even though we didn't win last night, Townsville was the winner. Absolutely, with having the State of Origin here. And I think it just showcases, if you build it, they will come. And there is going to be so much opportunity for this city to host more signature events like it. And I give you my commitment that our government will work tirelessly to help that happen. Now, today is a very important day as well, because we're actually announcing one of our most significant budget announcements here in Townsville, because we know how crucial energy is for regional Queensland, but we also know that most of the opportunities are here in regional Queensland as well. And isn't it wonderful that over the last couple of days, I know Minister Scott Stewart's been interacting with the resources sector here, where they've been hosting a big summit here in Townsville. And today we're going to be announcing one of our most significant energy policies. So if you have to bear with me, there's the, let's get through all the acknowledgements. So, our government is committed to Queensland becoming a renewables, hydrogen and manufacturing superpower, because it means more full-time jobs across more regions. When it comes to the fundamentals for becoming a renewables, hydrogen and manufacturing superpower, Queensland has it all. Queensland has sunshine and wind resources above the ground, critical economy minerals below the ground, a highly skilled workforce across regional centres, the infrastructure, ports and industrial land delivered because of our coal and LNG export centres, and of course established trade partners. I truly believe that there is no other place in the world as well positioned as Queensland to lead on hydrogen, critical energy minerals and renewable manufacturing. Our government backs renewables and hydrogen, and that's why I have dedicated a minister for hydrogen, and also to, as I mentioned, the minister dedicated for resources. As Dr Alan Finkel has recognised, our government has acted early in delivering our Queensland hydrogen industry strategy ahead of the National Hydrogen Roadmap. To ensure that we have the hydrogen skills needed, my government is investing in a hydrogen and renewable energy training facility in Townsville, hydrogen training facilities at Gladstone State High School, a Queensland Apprenticeship Centre at Beenleigh to deliver training for renewable hydrogen, and already our investment in hydrogen has supported projects to inject hydrogen into the gas network in Gladstone, deliver hydrogen refuelling stations, and support work underway to decarbonise minerals processing at Sun Metals right here in Townsville. Sun Metals has been a global leader, building a 124 megawatt solar farm next to their zinc refinery in 2018. Later that year, I travelled to Korea to meet with Korea Zinc to secure support for the $455 million expansion of the Sun Metals zinc refinery. That expansion was recently completed without any delays due to COVID. Sun Metals is the first refinery globally to sign up to the RE100 initiative to power the zinc refinery with 100% renewable energy by 2040. So if they can do it, there's going to be other companies that are going to be looking at doing exactly the same thing. Arc Energy is now working with Sun Metals to be the first refinery in the world to produce green zinc. My government's investment in hydrogen is supporting the work of Arc Energy and Sun HQ Hydrogen Hub to spearhead the hydrogen strategy at the Sun Metals refinery. And I'm looking forward to saying more about this project soon. Friends, under our government we have taken renewable energy generation from 7% when we first came to office to now over 20%. That's meant investment in over 5,100 megawatts of renewable generation that Mick was talking about earlier. Across more than 40 wind and solar farms, $9.9 billion of investment in supporting 7,000 jobs across regional Queensland. Large-scale renewable generation in Queensland is now offsetting 12.6 million tonnes of carbon emissions each year. This builds on Queensland's strong and stable energy mix, including the youngest and most efficient fleet of coal and gas-fired generators. And I often say that Queensland is the energy powerhouse of the nation. We have our coal, we have gas and we have renewables, but today is a very significant announcement in how we get to that 50% renewable energy by 2030. And I might just say too that in the absence of a defined energy plan by the federal government, I have commissioned Minister Mick de Brenni to be working with other key cabinet ministers to develop a 10-year energy plan for Queensland. We will step up where the federal government has stepped out. When I addressed CEDA in August last year, I announced a $145 million investment in renewable energy corridors. Last month, that commitment is supported the 157-megawatt Caban wind farm in North Queensland to reach financial close, with $373 million of investment and 250 local construction jobs. And last week, the tender was awarded for the transmission line to the Genex Kidston Clean Energy Project, thanks to our $147 million investment. I know Aaron was talking to me about that, how important that is for the region here as well. In total, it will support 900 construction jobs and 250 megawatts of pumped hydro. However, we need to build on this record and act now to ensure Queensland secures the global investment underway in renewables. The Biden administration in the US has committed $174 billion to accelerate supply chains for electric vehicles and issued an executive order to secure supply chains for critical minerals. Now, that's a lot of money invested there, but you can see the direction where the world is going. And Queensland can either, go status quo, or we can step in and become a global leader in this area. And of course, that means new opportunities here for the Northwest Minerals Province that has over $500 billion in known resources. Demand for electric vehicles in the US is already supporting rapid growth in local electric vehicle charging manufacturer Tritium, a company my government backed way back in 2016. The rise in demand for electric vehicles will require more gigafactories or large-scale manufacturing to deliver electric vehicle batteries. And I know that Mick is also working on how we can get more electric vehicles into our government fleet, and I think we will see that happen over time as well. According to the International Energy Agency, the demand for renewables will contribute to the need for almost 20 gigafactories a year to be built each year for the next 10 years. In meeting with our major trading partners, including Japan, South Korea and Germany, they have all advised that Queensland will be a key source of renewable hydrogen. And I know this because I've personally been to those countries, I've spoken to their leaders, and the trade opportunities are enormous for our country, and they see Queensland as a key focus for the development. That's why we have further projects in development to capitalise on these global opportunities. Of course, these include, as Mick mentioned, our implementation agreement with CopperString 2.0 to build a 1,100-kilometre transmission line to connect the Northwest Minerals Province to the national electricity market. CopperString 2.0 would provide more affordable energy to projects under development, including Walford Creek to mine cobalt for the Copper Mountain Mine project and zinc. The CopperString 2.0 project could provide a connection for the proposed 1 gigawatt Mount James wind farm. The area around Julia Creek has a number of vanadium projects under development, including Multicom's St Elmo project and Veco Group's proposed DeBella mine. These projects would benefit from lower cost energy by making it more affordable to co-locate common user infrastructure for minerals processing. Friends, we want to work with these companies and other vanadium proponents to support a critical minerals demonstration plant right here in Townsville, so that we can secure the manufacturing of vanadium batteries right here in Queensland. Our government backs the development of Northwest Minerals Province to provide the critical energy minerals the world needs, because that means jobs, jobs and more jobs. Earlier this week, Queensland Pacific Metals finalised an offtake agreement with Korean companies LG Energy Solutions and POSCO for a Townsville Energy Chemicals Hub. The Townsville Energy Chemicals Hub will manufacture the nickel sulphate and cobalt sulphate needed for electric vehicles at the Lansdowne Eco-Industrial Precinct. This follows our government's $12 million commitment at the election to support infrastructure to develop the Lansdowne Eco-Industrial Precinct. The opportunities in the Townsville region don't stop there, with the Origin and Kawasaki Heavy Industries proposed to export liquefied hydrogen. We have the unique opportunity to support a clean energy industrial ecosystem from the Northwest Province right through to Townsville, and these opportunities to grow jobs extend across Queensland. We've already seen support for projects in central Queensland. I know on Tuesday the Deputy Premier announced that a land site west of Gladstone had been secured for the proposed 3 gigawatt hydrogen export facility that could support 5,000 jobs. And we are seeing further exciting opportunities for renewable manufacturing in Gladstone. And in southern Queensland, we also have the 1,026 megawatt McIntyre wind farm project, which could be one of the largest onshore wind farms in the world, and there's more to come in that region. Now to the exciting stuff. Today, I'm proud to announce that we will accelerate development further by investing in productive infrastructure. My government will expand our $500 million Queensland Renewable Energy Fund into a $2 billion Queensland Renewable Energy and Hydrogen Jobs Fund. This is a significant investment. This is positioning Queensland for the future. This will take our total Jobs Fund investment to $3.34 billion. The Queensland Renewable Energy and Hydrogen Jobs Fund will support our government-owned businesses to expand ownership of renewable energy generation and storage to deliver on our 50% renewable energy target by 2030. It will also fund projects to develop our hydrogen industry so that we can reduce emissions in the transport sector and export our sunshine and wind energy to the world. We will require that the expansion of publicly owned renewable energy drives local manufacturing jobs right here in Queensland. That means not just mining the minerals for batteries and renewables in Queensland, it means processing the minerals and making batteries and renewables here as well. I want to see hydrogen electrolysers built locally and local assembly of wind turbines and solar panels, because that means more jobs. By owning our power assets and ensuring we maintain a majority ownership share of generation, we will ensure that the returns come back to Queenslanders rather than going offshore. We will keep these assets in public hands. But not only does the Queensland Renewable Energy and Hydrogen Jobs Fund make sense for the environment, but it also makes economic sense by creating sustainable full-time manufacturing jobs. This fund will support a self-reinforcing cycle of investment, a job-generating clean energy industrial ecosystem. Investment in local manufacturing of renewables and hydrogen delivers lower-cost energy and frees up gas as an industrial input for manufacturing. Lower input costs from Queensland manufacturing, more internationally competitive. A more competitive manufacturing sector in turn leads to growth in manufacturing and increased demand for energy. That demand for energy then drives more renewable manufacturing that will further the cycle of lifting international competitiveness, all of which will require more critical minerals, mining and processing, and support a supply chain for hydrogen exports. In Queensland, we have the cobalt, copper, scandium and nickel needed for electric vehicles. We have the vanadium resources and high-purity alumina to build renewable batteries. We have the bauxite and the aluminium smelting needed for the frames for solar panels and the high-purity quartz for solar PV. In fact, really, Queensland seems to have everything. We have the ingredients for titanium needed in hydrogen electrolysers, and we have the solar and wind energy to manufacture our minerals. So friends, in conclusion, growing our resources sector is no longer just about what's below the ground. It's now about harnessing the solar and wind above the ground and manufacturing renewables locally. More investors around the world want to buy products made with lower or net zero emissions. In Queensland, we can deliver manufacturing powered by renewables. The Queensland Renewable Energy and Hydrogen Jobs Fund will ensure that more returns stay onshore and that more Queenslanders share in the jobs from global growth in renewables. It will support the private sector to grow and also be more internationally competitive. As more products are made from renewable energy globally, Queensland will become one of the most attractive destinations for investment. I look forward to working with you all to develop Queensland into a renewables, hydrogen and manufacturing superpower, to working with you to create more full-time, secure manufacturing jobs across Queensland, recognising that the majority of these will be in regional Queensland, hence why we are making this significant announcement right here in Townsville today. So by working together, we will ensure that Queensland's best days are well and truly ahead of us. Thank you, friends, for joining us here today. Enjoy the rest of the day.